Fun Facts presents the 1966 Pontiac GTO, a classic muscle car, one of the first generations from 1964 through 1974. We're going to showcase the 66 Pontiac GTO. So if you're excited, I'm certainly excited. Let's get started now. The 1966 GTO, made by Pontiac. The GTO became a separate Pontiac model, number 242 in 1966. Instead of being an option package on the Tempest Le Mans, the entire GM A-body intermediate line was restyled that year, gaining more curvaceous styling with kicked up rear fender lines for a Coke bottle look and a slightly tunneled backlight. The tail light featured a louvered cover only seen on the GTO. Overall length grew only a fractional, about 2. Still on the 115-inch wheelbase, while width expanded to 74.4 inches, the rear track increased 1 inch. Overall remained the weight about the same. The GTO was available as a pillared coupe, a hardtop without B pillars, and a convertible. An automotive industry first was a plastic front grille that replaced the pot metal and aluminum versions used in earlier years. The new Strato bucket seats were introduced with higher and thinner seat backs and contoured cushions for added comfort, and adjustable headrests were introduced as a new option. The instrument panel was redesigned and more integrated than in the previous years, with the ignition switch moved from the far left of the dash to the right of the steering wheel. 4-pod instruments continued, and the GTO's dash was highlighted by a walnut veneer trim. Engine and carburetor choices remain the same as the previous year, except the tri-power option was discontinued mid-model year. A new engine was offered that saw few takers. The XS option consisted of a factory ram air setup with a new 744 high lift cam. Approximately 35 factory installed ram air packages are believed to have been built. Through 300 dealership installed ram air packages are estimated to have been ordered. Sales increased to 96,946, the highest production figure for all GTO years. Although Pontiac had strenuously promoted the GTO in advertising as the GTO Tiger, it became known in the youth market as the GOAT. One of the hottest designed muscle cars of the 1960s was the 1966 Pontiac GTO, produced by General Motors. The models were unique in both engineering and design and offered a great new distinction of style and performance. John S. DeLorean, who was General Motors Vice President and Pontiac General Manager, was in charge at the time. In 1966, the entire Tempest line had been redesigned and expanded by the addition of 5 new models, including a new GTO series. The new Pontiac GTO series included a sports coupe, a hardtop coupe, and a convertible. The GTO was completely new for 1966. These models offered their own unique front-end design that included an amazing looking grille, parking lamps, hood, and ornamentation. The The side view design showed a full-length rocker panel molding plus rocker extensions on the front and rear fenders. The 1966 Pontiac GTO model's rear end styling had its own Pontiac model line were restyled for a lower silhouette and a wider appearance while maintaining the look of a power and prestige identified with Pontiac's signature trade look. All 1966 Pontiac GTO models had their own interior identification on the doors and the instrument panels, along with the 6 interior color choices in more rockide material. The Pontiac GTO models were introduced to the public on September 27, 1965, and were called the Ultimate Tiger by GM's advertising. The all-new body designs were very pleasing to the eye from any angle. Many automotive enthusiasts referred to the 1965-66 Pontiac styling as the cars with the Coke bottle shapes. Other popular options for the 1966 GTO model included red line tires or rally wheels, which had debuted in 1965 and were later updated slightly in 1966, adding black painted center caps. Red line tires were once again standard equipment on many models. By the 1960s, muscle cars' popularity had significant impact on the big 3 automakers and consumers. During the 60s, many young adults wanted more horsepower and cool styling, which many of the automakers began producing. The year 1966 was the year that, for the first time in history, the GTO models were sold as full-fledged model and not just an optional package for Le Mans Series nameplate. The name GTO nameplate stands for Gran Turismo Omologato, the Italian phrase which means a grand touring production car. When it came to engines, the standard GTO engine was the 389 cubic inch 4-barrel carburetor with 335 horsepower. The GTO option was rated at 360 horsepower and had 3 2-barrel carburetors. If a consumer wanted to purchase the new 1966 GTO model, the base price for the sports coupe was $2,783. The hardtop model would cost $2,847, and the popular convertible was priced at $3,082. Pontiac offered great advertising for their GTO models for 1966. Many of the popular advertising for GTO in 1966 included "Speak softly and carry a GTO" or "Pretenders beware." However, the most famous was the Great One. Most of the advertising was featured in CarCraft, Car and Driver, and Hot Rod magazines. In 1966, Pontiac held on to its 3rd place in national sales by an astonishing 232,000 units over its competitors. Pontiac also celebrated its 40th year in the 1966 with 11 million vehicle that rolled off the line during the model run, making the 3rd year in a row that a million milestone had been marked. In conclusion, the GTO models were stylish automobiles and were very popular among many young adults in America. GTO became its own model line and was very popular. The styling was led by the late Bill Mitchell and his talented design team at General Motors, along with John Z. DeLorean, who was one of the brightest and most interesting automotive figures at General Motors. He joined Pontiac as an engineer in the late 1950s, and by the early 1960s he became Division General Manager. He was the director for Pontiac Advanced Engineering Department from 1956 through 1961, Chief Engineer from 61 to 65, General Manager Pontiac from 65 to 69, and General Manager Chevrolet from 69 to 72. During the 60s, Pontiac continued to thrive under DeLorean's leadership. Sales continued to climb, increasingly a healthy 27% between 1964 and 1968, and the GTO models were a part of the great muscle car tradition. For these reasons and more, the 66 Pontiac GTO will forever be remembered in our automotive history heritage. Well, if you've come this far into the video, we'd certainly like to thank you for taking your time to watch the video. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, and it really does help our channel. And if you like our channel, please subscribe, because we'll be doing all the muscle cars, the sports cars, the hybrid cars, the supercars, the autoramas, the hot rods, and custom cars. So a little bit of everything for everybody. We thank you again for taking the time out of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you when we upload our next video, and always, 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 always take good care.